Okay, so here's the thing. Really important one that's been coming up quite recently in some of my coaching groups or some of my facilitators coaching groups. And it's a really good question. It's about the whole idea of, following the feeling. We talk about it so much. I've titled this "What It Feels Like to Follow the Feeling," but what about when you don't feel like following the feeling? So what that actually means is times like, for example, the gym is a good example. People always resonate that, that you love going to the gym. When you're there, or once you've started to break a sweat, you're feeling good. You're doing your workout and it feels good. And once you've completed the workout, it even feels better. You feel like good about yourself, and you're like, yeah, this really felt true. Because when something feels true, you feel good, you feel alive, you feel light. Okay, so that's the main thing. You feel alive and you feel light. There's nothing weighing you down. So, unless it's the weights weighing you down, but no, that's just a joke. So, here's the thing, and everyone can relate to that, because most people, if you do feel like doing exercise or going to the gym or going for a walk or whatever, the moment you're doing it, the moment you're in the process, you've lost yourself in the motion, you've lost yourself in the moment of the workout. You love it, and especially when you finish, you love it even more. You feel really great about it. But what about the times when you pre-go to the gym, you kind of check in with your feeling and you go, I don't really feel like going right now to the gym. Okay, so that's a big one. People ask me that question all the time. They go, well, when I go to the gym, I feel great. When I finish the gym workout, I feel great. But sometimes, I get up 5:30 in the morning or 6 in the morning. It's cold, it's windy, it's rainy, and I don't really feel like going to the gym. So that's the thing. That's not the feeling. It's an important question. It's an important discussion to have, because you really reevaluate and I guess really connect with what the feeling really is. The feeling feels light. The feeling doesn't feel restrictive. So if you get up in the morning and you're tired and you don't feel to go to the gym, but that creates confusion, because it always starts like that. You don't feel like going to the gym, but when you go to the gym, you feel good. And when you finish the gym, you feel even better. So then you're kind of confused and you're like, well, why would I not feel like going to the gym? That's a physical reaction, or sometimes you have an emotional reaction. Okay, so to give you an example of what I mean by that, physical reaction is quite simple. You get up, you're tired, you're still sleepy, and you're like, you know what? I don't feel to go to the gym, right? This is not, by the way, a talk about to motivate you in being more healthy. I'm just using the gym example because it's so relatable, and so many people ask that question. They ask me, well, what about when I don't feel like going to the gym in the morning? That's not the feeling. Okay, that's a physical reaction you're having to this moment, and the physical reaction you're having to this moment is, I'm tired. Well, I've got a sore back, which may be plausible. Okay, so you don't want to go to the gym when you've got a sore back. But the point is, that's not the feeling. But most people go, well, I woke up in the morning and I didn't feel to. Okay, but that's not the feeling. Let's just get clear about that. An emotional reaction, sometimes people confuse it as the feeling. So, for example, you might be going to the gym and you might be getting some awesome results, and you're losing weight, you're toning up, and you think to yourself, I should do more, because if I'm getting this result from this doing, then I should do more of it, so I can create more of that experience. I can become more fitter, and the moment you do that, you create a should do. The moment you do that, you create an outcome. Your attention goes on the outcome. So then what that then creates is, sometimes you'll get up in the morning. If we can stick with the gym example, you get up in the morning and then you go, I don't feel like going, but it's not a physical reaction. You might get up in the morning, you're fully wired, you're ready to go, you had a coffee, and you just go, okay, time for the gym, and then you're like, I don't feel like it, right? That again, can be an emotional reaction, because you've gone and placed a should do Because the moment you go and try to focus on the outcome and result only rather than the process, rather than being in the moment, it creates, I should be going to the gym. So, even if you didn't feel to go, let's just say you truly didn't feel like going to the gym and you felt like, I need to work on this project right now. Today I'm not going to the gym. Then you start to feel guilty about not going to the gym because you created that should. So what I'm trying to explain here is that besides the feeling, there is the physical reaction where you feel like you physically, emotionally maybe drained. Maybe you've been working too hard. Maybe you've been going to the gym too hard. Maybe like the example I gave, you just woke up and you're just feeling tired. Or there is the emotional reaction, which is normally created from things like when you've got these great expectations from an outcome and result, and you're being disappointed by that great expectation. The outcome and result is not eventuating the way you thought. The plan is not unfolding the way you think it should be unfolding. Then it creates this emotional reaction. Or you think you should be doing this. I should be going to the gym. So anytime that you don't feel like you're going, you're creating this internal battle. So these are not the feeling. That's the point here. The point is that, the feeling, when it presents itself, it's light and it doesn't require thinking, although sometimes you may invite yourself to think about it, and that's another process. But it feels alive, it feels light, and I guess I just wanted to distinguish the difference between the feeling and, as I wrote in my title here, what it feels like to follow the feeling, but what about when you don't feel like following the feeling? So the time where you don't feel like following the feeling, when you feel the feeling, you feel like following it. Let's just get clear. The moment you feel the feeling, you feel inspired. It's almost like you have this feeling that is alive inside of you, and it makes you feel alive, and it wants to come out, whether that is being expressed through something you do, something you say, going to the gym, whatever, if we can stick back to the gym idea, right? I was recently, recently today or yesterday, I was just watching a part of my OMG program, because I'm currently going through that, and we are been recording some new, more an in-depth OMG program. It's the next level, if you like. It's called OMG Intensive. And so I've been reviewing the actual OMG content. I've been listening to that, and I listened to something, and I was talking about when people, back in the day when I was speaking around the world and speaking in a different city every single weekend, and I was in this OMG module, I was talking about when people feel like signing up in my programs, and I'll bring this up as another reference point for the feeling. I've had instances before where somebody feels like, for example, to come along and to attend my retreat, because this is what I was talking about in this example. And in the moment, they felt inspired and felt moved to attend the retreat, and so they took action and they signed up. And 2 days later, 3 days later, they ring me back and go, look, I don't feel like going anymore. And of course, we always hold a 7-day money back guarantee. So if someone changes their mind, we give them a refund. So we gave them a refund. But I was using this example, because people go, oh, it was the spur of the moment. I got caught up in the spur of the moment. You see, and again, I know sometimes you can get caught up in the spur of the moment and it becomes an emotional reaction, and maybe that's another conversation. But to me, the spur of the moment, when you feel to do something, right, and you feel moved and you feel alive, that's the feeling, right? Then they think about it and they contemplate all the different things, all the different hurdles and limitations rather than the possibilities. And then they go, oh no, I made a decision in the spur of the moment and now I don't feel to. See, this is what you got to understand. Your feeling doesn't change its mind like that. Sure, it changes direction over time. Your emotional reaction changes and is indecisive about things continuously. Like it can make decisions really quickly, it can make decisions, or it makes decisions really slowly, and it changes its mind really quickly. That's what I should say. So the emotional reaction, it takes a while to make its decision, and it changes its mind really quickly. But when the feeling presents itself to you, and any time a feeling presents itself to me, that's the feeling. It presented itself in the moment for this moment. So what does that mean? It means that if you are not able to connect with that, become one with that, act from that in that moment, the feeling's gone. The power's gone. And what does that mean? Does that mean you will then not take action on that very thing that you felt before? Maybe you will take action, but later you will take action with your head. Later you will take action with another part of it. It might not be for the feeling. So for me, personally, if something presents itself in the moment, it's for the moment. It's for now. So I act on it now. It doesn't then change its mind 3 days later, 2 days later, 48, whatever. We could be talking about whatever here, right? And it goes, no, that was the wrong feeling. It's not what I felt. Okay. Now, I get where you could be with this, because sometimes when you especially first start on this journey, you don't know what the feeling is. So you actually take an action, or you've actually acted on an emotional reaction, which was not the feeling. And then you've gone, oh, that wasn't the feeling. I get that, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when it is the feeling and you're sure that it is a feeling. It's that feeling that makes you feel alive, makes you feel light. But then 3 days later, and whatever, it could be whatever. Okay, I was talking about people in the past when they would join up my retreat programs or different programs, and they go, oh, I just made a in the moment decision. But that's the real decision, right? So you can relate it to whatever you want in your life. Your feeling doesn't come and say, this is what you want to do, and 2 days later goes, oh no, it was a mistake. It doesn't. I mean, sure. Like I said, you may have followed an emotional reaction, which was never the feeling. And I get that. But I'm talking about when you have actually, or when you are experiencing that true feeling, that true essence. Anyway, so the gym example is a great example. You know, when you have the willingness and the ability to actually, not only follow the feeling, but then have the discipline to be able to override any emotional interruptions or emotional reactions or physical physical distractions. When you have the ability to actually have this feeling, this is what you want to do, and align your emotions and physical responses to that feeling, it's you're experiencing yourself as infinite possibilities.